Chalo, okay, we'll start now. The examiners, this thing regarding assessment of answer sheets. I wrote in the group also that I will be first discussing regarding uh, this forms which you are filling basically. So, and Chaitanya, I think you have sent me the message also. So anyway, I will be talking to you separately also on that issue. Now, see the examination, this detailed application form is very very important because once you qualify for interview, that becomes the basis for your personality test and interview. So therefore, whatever you are writing has to be very very uh, sensible and accurate. And I understand that educational qualifications or employment, wherever you have been employed or you have, have some job experience, wherever you are native of, all those things anyway you will be writing. But the most important thing is hobbies and the uh, extracurricular activities which you have participated, particularly in your college and school period. Now, see, in regarding this, I have to say two, three things because otherwise I will be individually discussing with whosoever wants my input. You know very well that as far as ethics paper is concerned, uh, why I'm linking with ethics, I will explain to you. Uh, there are some foundational values of civil servants. For example, empathy is there, gender equity, courage and conviction, integrity, justice, accountability, environmental ethics, civic responsibility, equity, selflessness, then compassion, then constitutional morality, objectivity, uh, honesty, tolerance, all those things are there. Now, it's always better if you or your hobbies or extracurricular activities reflect these things. Usually, what we do, because I have also appeared at least interview 3 times in civil services and numerous other interviews in state services, banks, etc. So I know very well. Usually, while filling forms, we very carelessly fill the forms. So our attempt should be that whatever we write should make a very positive and very progressive impact in the interview board. That after reading your details, the interview board should be able to judge that you are a very progressive and positive attitude person. So this is also very important. So what I want to say is, if you select those hobbies or those extracurricular activities, and incidentally if you are having one which reflect these values. Now I will give a few examples. I don't know whether you are having or not and what you can do at this point of time. For example, let us say a few extracurricular and hobbies I will name. Just to make you understand what is a positive or what is a value loaded or what is a very high value uh, hobbies or extracurricular activities which may impress the interview board in a big way if you are really involved in that. Because I would never recommend anybody to write any artificial things or false things, but definitely if you are involved, you can think over, then definitely you can do. For example, gender equity or gender sensitivity. This is very, very important. So suppose, let us say one writes, designing or leading gender sensitization workshop in rural schools, or let us say working for the underprivileged children in the locality or the number of examples I can give, but the point here is, what I want to say is your hobbies or extracurricular activities should reflect the progressive values, the higher values which are appreciated by each and everybody in the society, because the same will also be appreciated by the interview board as well. So I will again say the same thing. The values, you know very well because you are the student of ethics paper. So you are very well, and incidentally, you are some of the students are also students of philosophy paper. So you know very well what are those values and how they are going to impact. Empathy is there, compassion is there, gender sensitivity is there, environmental ethics is there, integrity, transparency, objectivity, discipline, commitment. So all these values, if are reflected in your hobbies or in your extracurricular activities, are going to fetch you really better marks in the interview. If you can think of that, definitely that will be better. So this is what I wanted to say, just to sensitize you, because now you have got the opportunity to correct the application form, detailed application form. Please do that if you are able to do. I'm sure this is going to help you in interview in long run, because immediately you will not realize what you are doing, but definitely once you qualify the mains, this will be a big asset for you if you are, because I myself know, and once I talk to you personally, I will be able to explain to you in better, I mean, these things. So this is one thing I just wanted to tell. Now, second thing, I just because why because on Saturday we are having ethics test series, first test, and on Sunday we are having first for philosophy. So why I wanted that you should know the examiner's perspective also, because in the first introductory class I told you regarding the uh, how to write good answers, and I gave you some examples of 4 5 answers. So just I will show you once again, because that is again important. So I will just show you that, and then I will try to explain what is the examiner's perspective for the uh, civil services answer sheet evaluation, I will say. Now, if you remember in the first class, introductory class, I had already given this checklist for UPSC ethics theory answer. Now, this I'm not going to discuss because I have already discussed. I just want to show the students once again, because while writing the answers, you should keep this in mind. So in this checklist, because basically for ethics, there are two parts in this. First part is regarding theory questions. The second part is regarding case studies. So you should remember this, and you should try to understand, and then accordingly you should try to answer it. So I'm just showing it. I'm not going to discuss, because what I'm going to discuss is actually next to next slide, because this I have already discussed in first class, so I'm not going to discuss here. But I once again request you, please keep this in mind while writing the answers, because this is going to help you in fetching better marks. Now, second thing which I did in the first introductory class was that I gave you some about 5 different answers for the same question. So again, I am showing the same slide and same this thing. This is also not new. So how for the same question, how excellent answer can be written, or good or average or poor answer can be written. So this also I'm just going to show you. I mean, I'm not going to discuss because I have already discussed in the earlier class. Now, what I'm going to discuss today is the examiner's perspective for the evaluation of the examination. Now, this I'm going to discuss, and this is important from other angle, because see, in the first class I told you how to write good answer. That was from the point of view of student. Now, this is from the point of view of examiner. Suppose somebody is examining, suppose I am evaluating your answer sheet, I will definitely like to see all these things. Now, I just want to tell you, any examiner is going to evaluate the answer sheets in 3 4 phases, basically, or 3 4 categories he is going to put the students. So same thing I'm going to explain. But you should always keep in mind that your each and every word, whatever you are writing, nobody is going to read that, because that is not at all practically possible for any examiner. So, I mean, after taking some indications, he is going to make a view that you fall in average category, poor category, or good category, or excellent category. Now, what are those indicators and how he is going to evaluate? Let me try to explain. So, in first paragraph, I have just told you that you should keep in always mind that examiner who is evaluating is time-pressed person, and he's not going to read each and every word. So sometimes if you don't follow the correct techniques or you don't follow the correct procedure, even though your content may be good, but you may not fetch good marks. So now, what are the four main major categories of an answer? Let me try to explain. First thing, it should be visually clean and easy to scan, because I mean this is first requirement. If it is not fulfilled, then all other three, even if you are fulfilling, is not going to serve much purpose. So first and foremost is your answer has to be visually clean and easy to scan, easy to read. Even though it's not a very beautiful handwriting, it should be at least legible. So if it is not there, I'm sure other three categories, even if you fulfill, or other three qualities, even if you fulfill, you are not going to fetch good marks. Now, second quality which any examiner, first is visually clean and easy to scan. Second is directed exactly at the question. So this is very, very again important, because if your answer is not directed at the question, even if you are writing some very good content, or I mean very good philosophy or very good ethical answer, it's not going to help you much. So it has to be exactly directed to the question. Whatever is asked, you have to answer. How many parts it is asked, you have to ask in the same number of parts, whether 2 parts, 3 parts, accordingly. Otherwise, you are not going to get anything. Now, third is conceptually sharp and first 4 lines. See, first two are basic. So the 1 and 2 are basic things. So if you fulfill these, then only examiner is going for third and fourth, because third and fourth will make by going to third and fourth, he is going to make his mind whether you fall in good category or excellent category or average category. But first two is very, very important, and if you don't fulfill this, examiner is not going to anyway read your answer, and he may award you maybe 20%, 30% marks and close that. Now, so third is conceptually sharp in first 4 lines. In first 4 lines itself, I mean, your answer should be in such a way, I mean, it should give such a clarity or conceptual clarity that examiner should understand, he is going to write a good answer, and then perhaps he may read other paragraphs also. And then if other paragraphs are also good, then you are anyway going to get better marks. Now, fourth is closed with a confident reflective conclusion. Your conclusion is very again important, because first 4 5 lines and conclusion, if these two are important, definitely you are going to get at least 50% marks. I mean, that absolutely. And in civil service examination, 50, 55% and 60% marks are considered as definitely excellent marks as far as these papers are concerned. So these 4 things I am going to explain in little detail. So just to make you understand. So in phase 1, for which, in my opinion, examiner will not spend more than 3 to 5 seconds. And what are the qualities of this visually clean and easy to scan? First, is the handwriting neat and legible throughout? This is first point, because unless this is there, he's not going to proceed. Is the layout clean? Short paragraphs, bullets, headings where appropriate? Is the answer length roughly within the range, if 150 words or 250 words, because in ethics only 2 kinds of limits are there. So roughly it should be same. If it is too much or too less, then examiner is anyway going to make first impression that you are a poor student or average students, are not going to evaluate properly. Then again, for case studies, are subheadings like dilemma, stakeholders, options, conclusions clearly used? And even sometimes for even theoretical questions also, even though in 150 words there are not much scope regarding headings and subheadings, but still in some questions there may be scope. So this. Now, last point or the next point is, are ethical keywords or phrases used properly, are underlined and visible easily, early and easily? So please understand this. Are ethical words or phrases are underlined and visible early and easily? Early means while reading the question answer in first few lines, 2 3 lines, you should be able to know this is good fellow, or just in a scan itself, yes, he has used at least these important words, so he should be a good student. And easily, because if your handwriting is little good legible and you have underlined it properly, definitely it will be there. So this is basically, unless you do this, I mean, this is basic, because sometimes students write very good answer, but if they don't follow this, you are not going to get better marks. So again, if yes, if all these points are yes, examiner thinks that the answer is structured and readable, worth proper reading. If no, then examiner may skim expecting average effort or shallow reasoning. So this again important, because then accordingly he will proceed further for phase 2. Now what is phase 2? Phase 2 is directive compliance and focus. This he will take 5 to 10 seconds only, not more than that. So is the directive followed correctly? Because this is very, very important. And are all parts of the questions addressed? Because if there are 2 parts, each part should be covered. If there are 3 parts, some questions, 3 parts, all 3 should be covered. So this is again very important, because in scanning itself, he will see whether it has been done or not. Does the answer stay focused on the ethical theme, not turning into general essay? So what is focus of the answer? Is it focusing the question itself, or it is describing the whole topic? Because if you are describing the whole topic, you are not going to get much. In case studies, does the candidate frame the ethical conflict crisply? Because this is again very important, because that will depend how you are going to answer or how you are going to take up the next steps in answering that question. So if yes, examiner feels confident that the candidate has understood the question, ethical angle. If not, even well-written content may feel superficial or off target. So again, this is second point. Now, third point, ethical clarity, depth, and practical reasoning. Now, this is, he may take about 15 to 40 seconds, because see, whole question, one question, he is not going to spend more than 2 to 3 minutes. That too, if all the 4 steps are correctly incorporated. If it is not, then he may, even within half minute, he will go to next answer, because he will just decide, oh, he's a poor candidate. He will award some 3 out of 10 or maybe 5 out of 20, and then he will proceed for next question. So uh, uh, you should understand, if he is spending 2 to 3 minutes on your answer, it means you are going to get good marks, because otherwise in half a minute he will decide that you are a poor candidate and he will proceed. So now phase 3 is ethical clarity, depth, and practical reasoning. Now this I have written to do for theory questions and for case studies. Now let us see what are those. Now for theory questions, is the concept clearly and accurately defined? Because anyway, would like to see that. Are the real life examples to support the idea, preferably civil service related, given there? Then does the answer link the concept to governance or administration and not just society in general? This is again very important, because ethics, this is ethics in governance basically. Is there any ethical and constitutional anchoring? Are there ethical theories have been quoted, or constitutional provisions have been quoted? So all those things will be seen in this. Now, what will in case studies? Is the ethical dilemma identified in 1 or 2 lines clearly? Are the stakeholders and values in conflict mapped clearly? Are 3, 4 options logically considered, not just do or not? Because you have to explain the reasons also why you are rejecting one option and selecting other options. So this is again very important. Is the final decision justified? Are the values explicitly named and applied? Because it's very important, because sometimes we feel that no, I mean, TK, we have answered it, it's okay, but then the values, for example, compassion, empathy, accountability, integrity, transparency, objectivity, all these things have to be specifically used and named there. So explicitly named and applied also. Now, if yes, the examiner sees a thoughtful, ethics-aware candidate who understands the administrative concept. So then, if this category is passed, this phase is passed, then you already come in good category. If no, the answer feels generic and hollow. Otherwise, average you will get average marks or poor marks and over. Now, what is fourth point? Let us see now. Fourth is very, very important. Emotion, because this will excel you from other candidates, other who are getting average marks or even sometimes good marks, but this will bring you excellence your answer. Now, emotional intelligence, value orientation, and conclusion. And now this again 5 to 10 seconds only. Now, does the answer show empathy and ethical sensitivity, especially in dilemmas involving vulnerable or poorest of the poor? Is there a balance between legality, compassion, and realism? Is the tone reflective and constructive and not preachy or mechanical? Does the conclusion summarize ethically with a principle, Gandhian insight, or constitutional vision like that? If yes, examiner thinks that the candidate has an ethical compass, not just a vocabulary, and you may get excellent marking. If no, answer may seem morally neutral or administratively blind. So these are basically four phases in his in 2-3 minutes. One answer is evaluated by an examiner, depending on how much he finds depth and all these qualities incorporated in your answer, and then accordingly, uh, final he places the answer sheets in about 3-4 categories. You know very well. Now, balanced and ethically mature answers may get about 130 plus and 130 plus in ethics paper. 130, 140 is considered excellent mark. Somewhat definitely one or two students maybe, or 5-10 students may be getting 150 also. So this is now decent but generic, about 100 marks, about 100 plus marks, because most of the students who are good students, they get about in the range of 100, 110, 115, 120. And you see, if you score 20 marks more here, definitely you are going to do much better in your ranking, in your, I mean, all those things. Then superficial or imbalanced, if you are there, then you will get maybe 75. I have not put another category because another category will be poor category, which will be even 50, 60 also some people may be getting. So basically, this is the general understanding how an examiner proceeds as far as the evaluating an answer sheet is concerned. So my request is, when you appear in the test series, please appear seriously, and also try to basically write following all these points, because once you do that, once you are serious, uh, you will, I mean, basically you will be able to evaluate yourself better. If you are not serious, you will be damaging yourself. So this is what I have to say, because this was a very brief 20-30 minutes interaction. I Because just before the test series, I wanted that I should talk to all of you. Now most of the students have not joined, but my anyway we'll be putting this video on YouTube also, so if they want they can see there also. But the point here is, unless you are serious, you are not going to benefit. So this is what I have to say. Now I think 3 students are there. If you want to say anything, anybody, you can tell. Otherwise, we'll close.
So I am a sarod player. I study Indian classical music, and I have won awards in music as well as a guitar player also.
हम्म
But I have not done much of social service.
देखो, अभी
So
इसे ये उसके बारे में ना हम अलग से फोन पर बात करेंगे. ठीक है. तो इफ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड, आई कैन टॉक टू यू ऑन फोन 1-to-1, बिकॉज वो फिर यहाँ पर बात ठीक नहीं रहेगी. ओके. So
okay,
hobbies
sir.
and this extracurricular activities. I think Chaitanya wanted to talk to me, so I will be talking to him. If you also want, we can talk maybe separately. Hmm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So anybody else? Otherwise, we'll close.
हेलो
हाँ, इशिका बताओ.
सर, मुझे ये पूछना था कि जो टेस्ट सीरीज है उसका इवैल्यूएशन आप करेंगे या खुद से ही करना होगा?
नहीं, मैं
और
करूंगा. मैं
और
करूंगा. देखो, मैं एक ही
हम्म
चीज बताता हूँ. मैं, आप 3 लोग हो, आप यहाँ पर, जो बंदा सीरियस रहेगा उसके साथ मैं भी सीरियस हूँ. जो नहीं सीरियस है उसके साथ मैं भी नहीं हूँ. सीधी सी बात है. बिकॉज दैट इज टेस्ट सीरीज इज क्वाइट डिमांडिंग एक्चुअली. बिकॉज इवेल्युएशन, मैं 1-to-1 इवेल्युएशन भी कर सकता हूँ इफ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड. अदरवाइज मैं इवेल्युएट करके आपको मेल भी कर सकता हूँ, भेज भी सकता हूँ, सो दैट यू कैन सी योर सेल्फ. एंड एनी वे आई विल ट्राई टू गिव यू मॉडल आंसर फॉर वट एवर क्वेश्चन आई एम फ्रेमिंग.
और सर, एक प्रॉब्लम ये हो रही है कि एक्चुअली जो कीवर्ड्स होते हैं ना, जैसे स्टोरी तो याद हो जाती है फिलोसोफर की, बट कीवर्ड्स रिमेम्बर नहीं रहते, तो उससे आंसर काफी वेग सा लगता है. तो उसके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं अभी?
देखो, मैं आपको एक और बताऊं. आप 3 लोग हो अभी इसमें. मैं आपको अब, सी, देर आर इन एनी पेपर, देर आर आई थिंक 19 or 20 questions, इंक्लूडिंग ऑल पार्ट्स एंड सब पार्ट्स. एंड आई टेल यू, nobody in this country can write all 19 parts perfectly. So you understand like that. Nobody. Even if you are able to, इसीलिए शायद लोगों के 50-55% ही आते हैं या 60% मैक्सिमम, तो आप ये समझ लो कि थोड़ा सा तो आपको मेहनत करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज आई कीप ऑन टेलिंग द स्टूडेंट्स, यू हैव अ नोटबुक, whether digital or whether physical, you write all keywords and key phrases, try to understand those phrases, and because all three of you are, I think, philosophy students also, तो आपको philosophy और ethics दोनों की बात बता रहा हूँ. So you can write, you can understand, and while writing practice answers also, you try to use that. I am sure if you in any answer, if you want to if you practice for 10, or if you remember, I mean 10, you may not remember all those exams, you may remember 50%, but it doesn't matter, because आपका परफेक्ट तो हो ही नहीं सकता ना भाई. देयर इज नथिंग कॉल्ड परफेक्शन, यू हैव टू इम्प्रूव योर सेल्फ, है ना. तो ये समझ लो, बिकॉज वो तो प्रॉब्लम रहेगी कि ये याद होना, और जो याद ही करना पड़ेगा, उसमें समझने का रहता है जरूर, बिकॉज बट देन अब याद तो करना पड़ेगा उसमें, चाहे ग्रीक लैटिन टर्म्स हो चाहे संस्कृत टर्म्स हो, तो आपको याद करना पड़ेगा. बट अगेन आई एम रिपीटिंग सेम थिंग, इवन इफ 60% questions or 70% questions you are able to attempt well, you are through. ठीक है.
ओके सर.
बिकॉज वो मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, उसका कोई और सोल्यूशन है नहीं उसमें. एंड आई नो, बिकॉज sometimes in practice students write very well, actual exams they are not able to write, all those things happen. But again I am repeating the same thing, अगर आप 100 क्वेश्चन के लिए तैयार करते हैं, तो अगर उसमें से 10 भी आ जाता है आपके एग्जाम में, तो आई थिंक दैट इज क्वाइट, बिकॉज वो अटेम्प्टिंग का एक और सीक्वेंस मैंने अभी नहीं बताया एक्चुअली. सी सीक्वेंसिंग ऑल्सो इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन अटेम्प्टिंग. सी सम स्टूडेंट्स व्हाट दे डू, फर्स्ट से शुरू करेगा और लास्ट तक जाएगा. I think that is not, in my opinion, personal opinion, that is not a good method, because what you have to do is basically whatever strongest answer you can write or best answer you can write, that you write first, then second, and then again you have for last, and last, second last or third last answer also should be equally good or equally excellent. बीच में थोड़ा सा वीक आंसर आप इंक्लूड कर सकते हो, तो आप उस तरह से आपको सीक्वेंसिंग भी करनी पड़ेगी, बिकॉज फर्स्ट आंसर से ही तो आपको इंप्रेशन बनता है, और एग्जामिनर एक बार फर्स्ट एक बार देख लिया उसने, तो फिर देन वो लास्ट तक जाएगा, और लास्ट में भी उसको लगा कि नहीं यार, लड़का लड़की जो भी अच्छा लिख रहा है, तो नो ही इज अ गुड कैंडिडेट और समथिंग लाइक दैट, ही विल डिसाइड एंड देन ही विल पुट यू इन दैट फ्रेम ऑफ दिस थिंग. तो वो भी सीक्वेंसिंग भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. एंड आई कैन टेल यू अगेन, all questions you cannot attempt in a perfect manner, in excellent manner, whatever you try. But yes, you have to try your best, and everybody has to try one's best. मैक्सिमम जितने भी अच्छा कर सकते हैं वो अच्छा करना चाहिए, कोशिश करनी चाहिए, और याद करना तो पड़ेगा इसमें कई कई सारी चीजें. वैसे आपका इशिका, आपका बैकग्राउंड क्या है? व्हाट इज योर बैकग्राउंड? यू आर इंजीनियर और व्हाट?
सर कॉमर्स बैकग्राउंड है मेरा, और
नहीं.
मैंने लास्ट ईयर चेंज करा था ऑप्शनल PSIR से फिलोसफी पे.
ओके ओके, बट फिलोसफी आपने क्यों लिया फिर?
सर PSIR पे मुझे चीजें समझ नहीं आ रही थी, वो बहुत बड़ा भी था, मेरे को कंप्लीट नहीं हो पा रहा था. फिर फिलोसफी देखा, छोटा भी था, ठीक भी लगा सब्जेक्ट, क्योंकि
बट
ऑलरेडी ये.
फिलोसफी भी तो अब आपने ग्रेजुएशन में पढ़ा नहीं है यार, आपको इधर भी पढ़ने का टाइम कम ही मिला होगा, तो कैसे करोगे फिर?
सर लास्ट ईयर मैंने क्लासेस ली थी, मैंने तथास्तु से ली थी क्लासेस,
हम्म.
और उनके ही नोट से ही करा था सारा, और PYQs लिखे थे थोड़े बहुत, जितना मुझसे लास्ट ईयर हो सका था.
तो मतलब
तीन
बेसिक्स यू
चार
अंडरस्टैंड
महीने
एंड यू नो वेरी वेल, दैट्स व्हाट यू आर टेलिंग.
हाँ बेसिक्स है, थोड़े बहुत शॉर्ट नोट्स प्रिपेयर कर रखे हैं मैंने, वेस्टर्न के और थोड़े
हम्म.
पेपर वन के, तो
हम्म.
उस तरीके से किया था.
हाँ, अभी आपने कौन सा क्या ज्वाइन किया हुआ है? कुछ ज्वाइन किया हुआ?
नहीं सर, अभी मैंने तो ऑप्शनल से रिलेटेड तो कुछ नहीं ज्वाइन कर रखा.
ओके, क्यों?
सर वो समझ नहीं आ रहा, मेरा फर्स्ट टाइम ही मेंस है, और अभी मैं PYQs ही लिख रही हूँ और रिवाइज ही कर रही हूँ. अभी
टाइम
थोड़ी
नहीं है.
क्लैरिटी नहीं है मेरे पास इतनी.
ओके, ठीक है, चलो, तो वो तो खैर, बट वही मैं इसलिए कह रहा हूँ ना कि आई डोंट नो इफ समबडी इज न्यू टू सब्जेक्ट, थोड़ा सा एक इशू रहता है, बट ठीक है, ऐसा ऐसा भी नहीं है. फिलोसफी इज क्वाइट इंटरेस्टिंग आल्सो, इफ यू आर
हम्म,
इनटू दैट, यू विल परहैप्स अंडरस्टैंड एंड यू कैन डू बेटर आल्सो, है ना. तो आपने, आपका मेन से पहला मेंस है, इसके
जी.
पहले भी किया? ओके ओके. नहीं, मैं अपनी बात बताऊं, मैंने मैंने 3 बार मेंस दिया, और काफी पहले दिया, बट इंटरेस्टिंगली फिलोसफी का सिलेबस अभी तक चेंज नहीं हुआ है. मैंने करीब कितना 32-33 साल हो गए पहले. हालांकि उस समय 300 के होते थे पेपर्स, 300 के, और 2 सब्जेक्ट लेते थे लोग, तो फिलोसफी एंड एंथ्रोपोलॉजी और वो सब. बट एनीवे, वो चलो अलग से बताएंगे जब कभी. टू वन बात होगी तो। ओके, थैंक यू भाई। एनीबॉडी
सर
एल्स?
सर एक डाउट है कि
हाँ
मैं
बोलो।
क्वेश्चन पेपर फिनिश नहीं कर पा रहा, 12-13 क्वेश्चन ही हो पा रहे सर।
ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, देखो ये, और मैं आपको बताऊं इथिक्स का भी इक्वली प्रॉब्लम होगी, क्योंकि आप एक्चुअली ये सारे कंस्ट्रेंट्स के कारण ही मैं कह रहा हूं कि आप परफेक्ट आंसर सारे नहीं लिख पाओगे, और ये इसके लिए कोई परेशान होने की जरूरत नहीं है। इशिका भी वही बोल रही थी, मैं आपको भी, चैतन्य आपको भी बता रहा हूं। आप लोग ये समझ लो पक्का कि ये खेल सारा 55-60% का है ना। तो आपको सारे क्वेश्चंस तो करने करने ही पड़ेंगे, इसमें कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि, और उसके लिए आपको वर्ड लिमिट्स पर ध्यान देना पड़ेगा, और इथिक्स में और ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम होगी, मैं आपको बताऊं, क्योंकि यहाँ पर फिलोसफी में भी प्रॉब्लम होगी बट इथिक्स में भी होगी, क्योंकि यहाँ पर आप देखिए कितना है। इन इन पार्ट ए में ही आपको देर आर आई थिंक 13 पार्ट्स, सो 13 into 150 words you have to write. Then again part 2 में 6 into 250 you have to write, and this is very demanding, it's not easy. So you have to be very fast, you have to be very quick, and you have to be, I mean, it's really quite demanding papers. I mean, optional हो चाहे even GS हो, आप बाकी GS का papers तो मैंने नहीं देखा है अभी, but I am sure they will be also equally demanding.
सर जस्ट वन क्वेश्चन।
Hmm.
सर आपने जो कहा सीक्वेंशियली लिखना नहीं है, राइट? तो
Yes.
टू डू दैट आई नीड टू रीड द क्वेश्चन पेपर वंस, राइट? और वहां पे सर मैं मेंस लिख चुका हूँ पहले 2 बार। तो सर बेसिकली वहां पानी पीने के लिए भी टाइम नहीं होता है सर, पेपर छूट जाता है। सो
नहीं,
इफ आई
लेकिन अब
इन्वेस्ट।
आप चलो देखो देखो, दो चीजें मैं आपको बताऊं, दो आपको मैं अल्टरनेटिव्स बताता हूं। एक, आपने पहले से शुरू किया और पहला आंसर ही आपका खराब हो गया है, दूसरा खराब हो गया, और एक आपने 5 मिनट समय लेके एक बार पढ़ के क्वेश्चन कि नहीं यार मैं थर्ड क्वेश्चन तो बहुत अच्छा कर सकता हूँ, थर्ड से करूं। तो अब आप विच ऑप्शन यू विल प्रेफर? आई मीन बेसिकली देखो इसमें क्या है ना कि, बिकॉज माई ओन एक्सपीरियंस इज कि फॉर fetching better marks, first two questions what you are answering and last two, or first at least first two and last one should be excellent. वो उतना अगर नहीं होगा ना तो फिर वो एग्जामिनर को दिक्कत पड़ेगी ना, वो फिर आपको एवरेज मान लेगा ना, फिर वो क्या वो एक्स्ट्रा देगा आपको, 55% क्यों देगा आपको?
जी सर, सो स्टार्टिंग में यू रेकमेंड 5 मिनट्स और 4 मिनट्स वी शुड ग्लांस थ्रू द क्वेश्चंस।
नहीं, ऑब्वियसली वो तो देखते ही पता चल जाएगा ना कि यार ये क्वेश्चन है। और यूजुअली मैं आपको एक और बताऊं, ये जो 5 पार्ट्स वाले क्वेश्चन होते हैं फिलोसफी, आप तीनों लोग फिलोसफी के हो, जो 5 पार्ट्स वाले क्वेश्चन होते हैं, उसमें कोई ना कोई फंस ही जाता है। तो या तो अगर सारे आपको अच्छे आते हो तब तो आप करिए, अदरवाइज आप वो सिलेक्ट कर लीजिए पहले ना, जैसे मान लीजिए अद्वैत वेदांत आपका अच्छा चल रहा है, या आपका कांट पर आपने अच्छा पढ़ा है, आप उसको पहले अटेम्प्ट कर लो। ठीक है, उसमें भी प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है, बट कम से कम एक क्वेश्चन तो आप खोज सकते हो ना, या दो क्वेश्चन तो आप खोज सकते हो कि इसको हम पहले रखेंगे, इसको लास्ट रखेंगे। वो तो करना पड़ेगा आपको।
सर ये आंसर शीट पे ऐसे क्वेश्चन प्रिंटेड होते हैं या 1 2 3 4 ऐसे जो स्कूल
अब ये
वाली
तो
आंसर शीट
आप
होती
लोगों ने पहले दिया हुआ, बताओ कौन किसने दिया है अभी? आई थिंक। हाँ,
बुकलेट होता है चैतन्य, एक बुकलेट होता है जिसमें जो 10 मार्कर होता है उसके 2 साइड्स होते हैं, 15 मार्कर के 3 और 20 मार्कर के 4। इट्स अ बुकलेट।
हाँ, पर उस पे क्वेश्चन मेंशन्ड होता है या
हाँ
नहीं
उसमें
कैसे?
क्वेश्चन मेंशन
अच्छा।
होता है,
ओके
क्वेश्चन
ओके।
मेंशन।
नहीं तो क्वेश्चन क्या सीक्वेंसली मेंशन होते हैं क्या है?
यस सर, सीक्वेंशियली मेंशन्ड होते हैं। और
फिर कैसे आप
फुल।
करोगे? फिर आप नहीं चेंज कर सकते, फिर कैसे करोगे?
हाँ सर, यही चैलेंज है कि अभी क्वेश्चन पेपर देखना पड़ेगा साइड में। लेट्स से 1 7 13 15 ये डिसाइड किए हैं, देन यू हैव टू लाइक अकॉर्डिंगली वो बुकलेट को ऐसे आगे कर करके सॉल्व करना पड़ेगा, उसमें टाइम जाएगा, दैट्स द ओनली इशू।
नहीं नहीं, बट
मतलब वो
पर
वेरी,
आप जैसा बोल रहे थे वो इम्प्रेशन वाला पार्ट वो तो नहीं कर सकते ना, वो तो पहला क्वेश्चन ही पहले पड़ेगा क्योंकि फिर।
हाँ तो अगर पहला पड़ेगा, एक बार लेट मी फाइंड आउट माई सेल्फ
हाँ।
ऑल्सो, बट आई थिंक वो प्रिंटेड रहता है। आर यू श्योर चैतन्य?
सम 100% श्योर 3 मीन्स लिखा हो सर।
हाँ
सो 100।
तो फिर तो वो चेंज नहीं कर सकते, फिर तो देन यू हैव टू फॉलो द सीक्वेंस, बट मैं भी एक बार लेट मी फाइंड आउट दैट आल्सो, बिकॉज वो ठीक है, वो पता कर लेंगे। चलो चलो, एनीथिंग एल्स? अदरवाइज वो देखो, ये चैलेंज रहेगा, वर्ड लिमिट्स और वो याद करना, ये सारा चैलेंज रहेगा, और इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं। वो सीक्वेंस का एक पता करते हैं, लेट मी आल्सो फाइंड आउट, एंड इफ नॉट पॉसिबल देन तो ठीक है, बट एवरीबडी इज इक्वल देन दैट इज आल्सो गुड थिंग, बिकॉज सारे बच्चे अगर उसी तरह से दे रहे हैं तो फिर तो कोई और दिक्कत नहीं है, फिर तो सब सही है, बिकॉज
यस सर।
बिकॉज इक्वलिटी इज ऑलवेज बेटर दैट वे। ठीक है। ओके, सो टुमारो मैं सोच रहा था फिलॉसफी का ले लूं एक इसी तरह का, बट इफ तीन लोगों ने आपने ज्वाइन कर ही लिया तो फिलॉसफी का मैं सीधे मैं कल शुरू कर दूंगा, वो जो मैं आपका रसल वाला शुरू कर दूंगा, बर्टन रसल, आई विल स्टार्ट। ठीक है।
ओके सर।
या मैं भी 5 मिनट वो बता दूंगा कि मैं क्या कैसे लिखना है, क्या एग्जामिनर देखता है। फिलॉसफी में ऑलमोस्ट सेम ही है, बट थोड़ा बहुत करके बता दूंगा मैं। ठीक है, चलो 5-10 मिनट उसके लिए बता दूंगा, फिर देन आई विल ब्रेक फॉर 5 मिनट्स एंड देन आई विल स्टार्ट दिस बर्टन रसल लॉजिकल एटमिज्म। ठीक है।
Yes, sir.
ओके सर।
ओके ओके, थैंक यू भाई, थैंक यू एवरीबॉडी। ओके बाय।
थैंक यू सर।